Hello everyone, this is Globku from Magical Noob reviewing Oceanhorn, Monster of Uncharted Seas. This is a puzzle RPG that draws inspiration from the Legend of Zelda games, and I mean a lot of inspiration, wink wink nudge nudge. You play as this guy. You don't have a name, you don't speak, but everyone thinks you're going to save the world from the big monster Oceanhorn, just like your father sets out to do in the beginning of the game. The hermit that lives in your island tells you of the existence of 3 emblems that you must gather in order to defeat him, and has a vague idea where they might be, but is not actually sure, and this is where the game gets interesting. He mentions the island of Tikkarel as a good starting point, and the island shows up on the map. You go to Tikkarel, you talk to some people, and learn the location of new islands, which eventually take you to the one you're looking for. The game doesn't have an objective tracker, doesn't tell you where to go. It leaves you to explore and speak with the locals and then get out there and look for those emblems. This freedom and feeling of exploration is where Oceanhorn is at its best. This lack of guidance fits really well with the game's theme. The emblems' locations are unknown, so the game doesn't tell you where they are. Go out there and find out. Obviously, the beautiful water effects also help the overall enjoyment of these travels, even though you can't steer your boat. After you set your destination, it will automatically travel there. The game does give you a gun to shoot down enemies and crates along the way, but I feel like it's there to literally keep you entertained during the travel animation. I'd like to steer the boat, so they could have done a better job with that. Once you arrive on a new island, you will encounter several enemies and puzzles to solve. These puzzles usually reward you with new abilities or story items, which brings us to our first problem. The difficulty level of these puzzles ramps up very slowly. Most of the puzzles consist of moving boxes around and pressing buttons, which will end up revealing a chest with a key that opens a door that leads to more box pushing and button pressing. These puzzles are so easy, so simple, that I would often get stuck because I was overthinking them. Because surely, dungeon number 5 isn't going to be as easy as the first one. It was. At your disposal, you have a sword and a shield, as well as several items you can use such as bombs or bow and arrows, and an array of different magic spells. The game actually gives you a decent number of tools considering its combat system is very simplistic. Enemies will typically just run at you and attack, which means you won't really have to adapt your tactics when dealing with them. Fighting an enemy at the beginning of the game will pretty much work the same for an enemy towards the end game. The same goes for boss fights, which is such a shame. These fights are often very uninspired. Bosses look absolutely ridiculous when trying to swing their attacks at you, but purposefully giving you a window of opportunity to counterattack. And even when they require a special tactic, they share the same problem as the puzzles do. They're way too easy to figure out. Maybe an argument can be made for the final boss, but other than that, a 3-year-old could figure out what to do. So maybe the game was actually made for children, but as a 25-year-old man, playing this game is overall just too goddamn easy. Story-wise, the game could be good, but I really couldn't tell because it is delivered so poorly. I really like the kid's mother backstory, the whole thing with Sky Island, but the voice acting is so terrible that it's really hard to enjoy. Also, I was incredibly surprised to see so many voice actors in the credits because all the characters sound so similar. I thought it was all the same guy. Listen for yourself.
Whatever happens next, I'm not going to lose you like I lost your mother.
So I lived to see the day. The daring youngster with a flying machine.
You freed the Great Forest Shrine. I can finally return here to sing a long song to my ancestors.
Okay, maybe they're not exactly the same, but they are similar types of voices. And in these examples, we're talking about 3 extremely different characters. We're talking about an owl person, an old man, and your father. These 3 guys should have distinct voices. The fact that they're so similar subtracts from their character as individuals in a game that needs a lot more variety. Because there are different species, different races, each one with their purpose, and if the game wants to sell you its story, it needs different voices. And it doesn't stop on the voice acting. Oh no, Tapio Luikonen, I'm coming for you. Everything sound design related is god-awful. Footsteps are way too loud. Echo in caves sounds terrible. And even when you deplete your stamina from sprinting, the boy panting is one of the most annoying sounds I've heard in the game. Soundtrack's good though. It's nothing extraordinary, it's nothing new, but it does its job right, which is more than I can say for most of this game. Oceanhorn felt like it could be a good game. The exploration is great. Story might be as well, but the game needs more puzzle complexity. It needs better AI, it needs better boss fight mechanics, and did I mention, it needs more goddamn puzzle complexity. And Tapio, you need to step up your game, cause this sounded awful. It took me roughly 8 hours to complete the game, but if you're going to attempt to 100% it, I can see it taking between 11 to 12 hours. Which is a great value for its $12 price point, but I can say I enjoyed my time with it. Before I finish, I didn't mention this before because I didn't want you guys to judge this game differently, but this is a remake of an iOS game, and for an iOS game this actually looks really good. But now it's on PC, and since it's a PC game, I must review it as such, and I cannot recommend this game, which is a shame because Nintendo is never going to release a Legend of Zelda on PC, so I'll keep waiting for a good clone to scratch that itch. That said, we don't score our reviews, but if you have played Oceanhorn, feel free to do it in the comments below. If you haven't yet, let us know if you're planning on playing it, or you're sitting this one out. Share your thoughts while you're down there, click the like button and subscribe for more gaming goodness. I've been Globku. Take care everyone, see you next time.